Here we are on this
Yay!
lovely 2017. It's September 20th, so we're just a few days before the fall
Equinox.
Yay!
Yeah.
So we're all going to be in balance, and hopefully the retrograde will straighten itself out, and we can exhale a little bit. But if we have Shannon L. Anderson, or L. Shannon Anderson, we have Christy Michaels and Celestine Starr. I better say that again. We have L. Shannon Anderson, Christy Michaels, and Celestine Starr. And we're here to talk to you about, what are we talking about, Christy?
We're talking about the mysteries of Mary Magdalene in this webinar series, and today we're focusing in on how her messages are showing up in crop circles.
A very interesting subject, and we have our mystery speaker here telling us about some of the mystery. Miss Shannon, what do you have to say about that?
I'm going to talk about my experience in walking in one of those crop circles.
Wow, that is brilliant. And the best I can give you is my esoteric knowledge as we open the veil and go behind the veil and look at some of the sacred geometry and messages. So we want you to tune in, because this webinar that's coming up is going to be exciting, mysterious, and filled with the wisdom of Mary Magdalene. She is guiding us to share with you. And anything you want to say about that, Christy?
Oh, it's raising the frequencies, raising the vibrations, so that, you know, she's like, it's like, what is it going to take to wake us up? Oh my God.
And Shannon, what is this all about? Why are we doing this? What's happening in December?
In December, the Magdalene movement in Sedona. Yeah, well, this is part of our fundraising to help support and bring back to our audience and the people that follow us all that we gather as we gather from all over the world, not just America. In Sedona, I have a friend who's flying in from South Africa specifically to be a part of this.
Yeah, we're going to have women from all over.
So you, Christy, have helped us to set up these webinars, and so this one's on crop circles. We just finished the first one, in which we all shared, you know, our introduction to Mary Magdalene and some of the mysteries there, the 444 and the 153. And so can you tell us a little bit about the next ones that are coming up?
Well, the next one, we're bringing the men in, because this is part of what the Magdalene's all about. She's about balancing and restoring the equal relationship between men and women. And believe me, we need that more than ever now. This equality. And it was the original intent. Jesus, you could tell when he was telling the stories in the Bible, he was trying so hard to get the disciples. So because we have her gospel, you'll be able to understand a lot more about why the apostles could never get on board with really bringing her forward as the true leader that she was. So Shannon's going to be talking about the work with men. I'm going to be talking about the work that we've been doing here, knighting men in our community, and what kind of an impact that's having on the guys as they open to their own sacred divine selves and really join with us. And then Celestine, what will you be talking about?
Well, I thought as far as the knighting and the daming of women in action for the planetary system, I would like to talk about the ancient days of England and how they knighted and how honorable it was, and a little bit about the sword and how it's transformed into still a useful process for people to go through, men or women to go through in order to acknowledge and commit to their activation and their work in the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have Celestine grew up in England, so she's very close to all of these esoteric teachings from the ancient sources out of England. So.
Yeah,
and Egypt.
And Egypt. What's interesting is as a young girl and a teenager, you fight against, you rage against the school. No, I don't want to learn this. What is this for? I don't have any idea. And now it's just pouring out of me information that is needed for this time. So Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Shannon and Mary Magdalene. Thank you very much for pushing me into the light here. And so for the very final webinar, what's the final webinar about there, Christy?
The final webinar is going to be the report of the national launch of the Magdalene movement. So we'll be sharing our experiences because we're all going, and that's why we're trying to raise money to support our travel expenses and whatnot to get there. And Kathleen McGowan, who's orchestrating this, is a scholar on the History Channel, and she's been making good money. And so she wants to put some of her money plus money that she's raising towards building the infrastructure or the platform of which to make this launch happen. And so she's invited women to come from all over the world, all over the United States anyway. Shannon's got a
Africa, everywhere.
Yeah, and so we're going to be discussing if we were to create this, taking all the different ideas and things that people are doing, we'll have a chance to give some input. And so our last webinar, we're going to be reporting on what came out of it and what are the next steps and how can people get involved and what are we going to do in our community and what are you going to do in your community. And
yeah, so you do want to stay tuned. And we have one more in November that may be about the esoteric teachings. Anything on the November webinar?
Well, I have to look here a second here.
So I believe, Shannon, do you want to say anything about the esoteric teaching?
Oh, that's the November webinar. I'm sorry, that's the December webinar I was talking about. November webinar is on the alchemy of ascension of Mary Magdalene and the awakening of divine feminine, and that's led by you. So each of us are trying to lead. You asked me, so I was confused there for a minute.
Oh yeah, she got so excited. I'm telling you.
Rainbow body of light.
Celestine is really has a lot of experience with this whole notion of alchemy, and she's actually trained in alchemical process hypnotherapy and does a lot of transformative healing work. Very powerful healer. And so she'll be sharing how this ties in with some of the Magdalene ideas and teachings. So, and then Shannon, I believe you're going to be talking about, the Magdalenes around the world and your current efforts to launch.
Rainbow body of light, actually.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What is that?
Magdalene's rainbow body of light. Well, that's.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We're down with that.
I'm so down with that. And I'm sure those of you who are listening in, you're going to be down with that too. So come back. Don't miss a drop. We'll see you on September the 28th. And what time do we start, Christy?
We start at 5 p.m. California time.
There you go, Pacific Standard Time. And
8 p.m. on East Coast time. And if those of you who live in Europe, you have to get up at the wee hours of the morning or watch it on the replay, right, Christy?
Yeah, you can watch anytime. You can get the archive. And you can always, email us your questions too. So we're happy to respond to them.
Yeah, so get the whole package. That'll help us. Either way, it's all the fundraiser, and Mary Magdalene is holding space for us to go to this beautiful event in the movement.
And they can find out more information and details spelled out on the website, which is the www.gospelofmarymagdalene.info.
Can you repeat that one more time?
www.gospelofmarymagdalene.info.
Thank you,
Or
Christy.
there's also a Facebook.
There's also Facebook, yes. What's Facebook?
Well, Christy Michaels you'll find links to my Facebook was the Divine Feminine Wisdom, which is the Facebook page where you go to events and then you'll see click on the event link and then you'll see the link for the event information for the webinars.
Beautiful.
So, Divine Feminine Wisdom. Yes, that's what we need, Divine Feminine Wisdom.
Okay, well, thank you all for listening, and we hope to see you on the webinars. And we send love, light, and Mary Magdalene blessings to you all.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Peace, yay.
Peace.